Story challenger, former welterweight champion Michele Piccirillo, born in the same town as former middleweight champion Vito Antuofermo. That's Bari, Italy. His fourth fight here in the United States. The amiable 15-year veteran won his belt via controversial decision over Corey Spinks back in '03, and then he lost it in the rematch. He has some quality victories, although his last world-class level fight was over 2 years ago, losing to Ricardo Mayorga. At 37, he knows this could be his last world title opportunity. That said, Al, he's had only 3 losses in 52 fights, and he's never been stopped.
You know, there's a temptation to think that he's, in fact, as you point out, a 37-year-old who's hanging in there for a payday, coming here just for that. That's not the case at all. You know, I believe that he is a fighter who believes that he can win this. He's 4-0 since he lost to Mayorga, and 3 of those 4 fighters were top European junior middleweights. So he's been performing well, and I believe he thinks he can win this championship.
He actually ran into Forrest once before, back in 1991. Vernon beat Michele at the World Amateur Championships in a one-sided decision. Of course, a lot has happened since then. Also, both competed at the '92 Barcelona Olympics, but they did not fight each other. So that's the lowdown on Michele. Well, this guy's won 3 world title belts, but Vernon Forrest almost faded into oblivion. Inactive for 2 years following his second loss to the aforementioned Mayorga. He has come back from 3 operations, 2 on his left shoulder, 1 on his left elbow, plus extensive physical rehabilitation. The supremely confident 15-year pro, only recently healthy for the first time in a long while. He looked tremendous against Baldomir to win the vacant belt. That victory, Al, capped one of the best boxing comeback stories in recent years.
You know what makes that story special is so many people in the boxing community and fans as well were rooting for it to work, because people like Vernon Forrest, and in a way then they've helped the comeback, because when the people in the industry are rooting for you, you get those opportunities.
Some last-second praying. He owns 2 wins over Shane Mosley. Dropped Mosley twice in the first meeting in Shane's first loss. He also beat Ike Corte. He has lost only 1 man, and that was twice versus Mayorga. And if there's one guy Forrest wants again, it's Mayorga, which could be very intriguing. Let's size him up right now from Foxwoods as we check the tail of the tape. The champion Forrest turns 37 in February. Piccirillo pushing 38, his birthday next month. 5'10.5" is Forrest, with the 1.5" height advantage and the slight edge in reach. And at yesterday's weigh-in, as reported earlier, Forrest a little over at first. An hour later came back at 153. Piccirillo 152. And the notable rules for this world title bout: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4, they go to the scorecards. And if a punch causes a cut and the injured fighter cannot continue, he'll lose by TKO. So here at Foxwoods Resort Casino, Mashantucket, Connecticut, getting ready for Vernon Forrest versus Michele Piccirillo for the WBC Super Welterweight crown. Let's get the introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Foxwoods Resort and Casino here in Mashantucket, Connecticut, at this time we present our co-featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with Foxwoods and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, the president Jose Suleiman, the supervisor Michael George, along with the Mashantucket Pequot Athletic Commission. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Rome, Italy, Massimo Barovecchio. From Rivervale, New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Jack Woodburn. And our referee in charge of this bout, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Arthur Mercanti. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, the challenger. He is on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Modugno, Italy. He weighed in at a trim and ready 152 pounds with a record of 48 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He has 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former IBF welterweight champion of the world, currently ranked the WBC #2 super welterweight contender, introducing Michele, the Gentleman Piccirillo. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing silver trunks with purple and black trim, and fighting out of his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. He weighed in at a ready 153 pounds. His record 39 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest, with 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 3-time world champion in 2 weight divisions and the current WBC super welterweight champion of the world, introducing Vernon the Viper Forrest. In charge, Arthur Mercanti, now to give instructions.
Let's go, champ. Good evening, gentlemen. You received your rules earlier tonight by the commission. Let's go toe-to-toe, touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
And we close in on the WBC Super Welterweight Championship. Rangy, long-armed, quick-handed Vernon Forrest, who said he does not see this as a gimme, calling Piccirillo a smart fighter, but feels he has the superior skills to make Piccirillo do what he wants, as he did with Valdemir. Forrest fought very confidently in his last fight, looked 100%. No problem throwing with either hand. His power, speed, and conditioning were excellent. He took risks, and he was trying for the knockout. Will he have the same mindset here against a very different kind of opponent?
You know, both men have a jab that makes everything work, and we see both men trying to establish it right away.
Buddy McGirt, the trainer, one of the trainers for Forrest, said the plan is to bring smart aggression, which to me means if the knockout opening is there, take it. But Piccirillo doesn't make a lot of mistakes. As mentioned, never stopped. Very good defender, hard to hit cleanly. He'll certainly try to discourage Forrest as best he can, make Forrest work for it. Piccirillo in the blue, not a big puncher, but a good technician. He's durable, but he's prone to head clashes, could be slowing with age in the many hard fights. Well, Forrest,
that's it.
Although a contemporary, could be fresher because of the injury time off.
Piccirillo is not by trade a super aggressive fighter, but he can be aggressive. And I think after the first few rounds, when we see him feeling out Forrest and trying to counterpunch, I think he will bring the heat a little bit more to Vernon Forrest.
Forrest landed with a left hook there. He said he'll have to make this a fight or there won't be a fight. The feeling that Piccirillo doesn't come forward, that he's strictly an outside counterpuncher. Forrest insisted that if Piccirillo comes in, he'll knock him out. There's the double left jab by Piccirillo.
Piccirillo mixing in, nice jab again, some hooks, and he understands, and I think he does from watching the video of Forrest, that that's a punch you can get in from time to time. Piccirillo just isn't a left hook artist, so he doesn't want to throw a top. Big right by Forrest.
Forrest on the attack. He's throwing out his entire arsenal here.
Nice.
And you saw him throw the uppercut. He just missed an uppercut that could have changed this fight.
And you pointed that out in the keys. The uppercut could be a factor here for Forrest. But his money punch really is the big right hand, which he injured a couple of fights back in a very close win over Ike Corte. Approaching 30 seconds remaining in round 1, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Welterweight title. First defense for Forrest in the silver and purple. With a good left hook there. Left hook by Forrest. Left-right combination. The left landed, the right missed. So a fine opening round for the champion, Vernon Forrest, as we head for the bell.
Holding in. Time. Nice, fellas.
A big one, okay?
Okay.
Make everything come off the jab. Let everything come off the jab. Keep touching him downstairs, okay? You land in one good shot upstairs, but after that you go for the next good shot and he's pulling back. So you go upstairs, bring the next one downstairs,
Gotta move over.
okay? And keep the jab going downstairs and then the right hand downstairs, okay? But come behind the jab. Go ahead, Al.
Okay. Remember where the head shots go at?
Yeah.
You go into the head. Don't let him fool you with that.
Well, Vernon Forrest lands a nice straight right hand. The jab set that up. Piccirillo in a position where he got nailed with that right hand. Now, Forrest landing a lot of punches there. He's getting ready to throw the uppercut, which didn't land, but he knows that punch could be an important one on the inside for him. Keeps ripping shots, and there was the uppercut that didn't quite get there for Vernon Forrest. An all-star corner in there with Buddy McGirt and Al Mitchell, who was the Olympic coach in the 1996 team, and also great cut man Jimmy Glenn.
The venerable Jimmy Glenn, the ubiquitous Buddy McGirt. Every time we turn around, there's Buddy. Well, it just looks like Piccirillo's having a lot of trouble handling the hand speed of Vernon Forrest. Almost everything seems to be connecting.
You know, one of the misnomers about Forrest, and he addressed it, is that somehow he's not an exciting fighter. Good right by Vernon Forrest. He is aggressive. People think of him sometimes as more passive than he is, but his recent fights with Corte and Baltimore, he performed very well offensively.
He's a boxer who can fight. Piccirillo offers something up there, but not any damage.
Well, there's the jab and a straight right hand by Piccirillo. I think he needs to just keep throwing that over and over and over again. It's the thing that can land against Forrest. Wow, Forrest landed a big right.
Forrest, once again, all over Piccirillo.
These are the rounds where, against Mayorga, for instance, Mayorga had Piccirillo down several times. It looked like Piccirillo was out of the fight, but he hung in there. And in recent fights, his last couple of fights, Piccirillo's won with knockouts in the 11th and 12th rounds. He hangs in there, hard to get him out of there, and then in the later rounds, he's effective. We'll see if that's the case in this fight.
Well, this apparently is the example of the smart, controlled aggression. The game plan of Vernon Forrest. Forrest letting his hands go, left-right combination, backing Piccirillo up. Going to the body with the jab, able to block that left hook by Piccirillo. So Vernon Forrest sparkling here over the first two.
And even the feints that Forrest throws, Piccirillo is really reacting. So the power of Vernon Forrest has made an impact on Michele Piccirillo at this point.
Step back.
You know, Forrest made the point that because he had all those injuries, he started to throw his punches not correctly. And Buddy McGirt and Al Mitchell had to work on him once he was healthy to throw the punches the right way. And he said he almost had to go back to the drawing board and relearn all the basics.
First hurt his left shoulder back in 1994, but instead of getting it fixed, he took a lot of cortisone shots so he could continue fighting.
Big rights by Vernon Forrest, and that punch has been a signature so far in this fight.
Eventually, following Forrest's second fight with Mayorga in 03, he took 2 years off to have the shoulder and elbow repaired. And as we said, looked oh, big right hand by Forrest. It backed Piccirillo to the ropes. Final seconds of round two. Oh, and the hits came together. And you saw Forrest's reaction.
Hey, listen, the double jabs and the feints, and you punch off that, you have an easy night. Okay? The double jabs, and he's going for all the feints. All the feints he's falling for me. But now, let's focus on the body a little more, champ. Okay.
No, bro, subito in destra. Okay. Okay. Okay, Michele.
That happened so fast, Al, I'm not sure it was a headbutt or an elbow.
Let's see what happened. Yeah, I guess the heads banged together there. Yeah,
it was.
Must have been the head. That was later on in the round, and there we get a better example of it. Well, it's just kind of a glancing crack of the heads. I'm surprised that had such an impact on Vernon Forrest. Why is Vernon Forrest landing those jabs and straight right hands, you ask? Because he's fighting tall, giving himself room to throw those punches. That is an important key for him in this fight, and he's utilizing the right strategy.
So we enter round 3, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship. Excellent start for the champion Vernon Forrest, silver and purple. Forrest, an exciting offensive fighter, terrific long jab, doubles up nicely, big powerful right, as we've already seen, good left hook, all the tools and very fast hands.
You know, we talked about nice jab there by Piccirillo, and the man who's in his corner, Sambu Kalambai, who was a middleweight champion in the late 80s, a wonderful boxer and defensive fighter who has helped Piccirillo a lot.
Had wins over Harold Graham, Iran Barkley, Mike the Body Snatcher McCallum, Doug DeWitt. Terrific career for the former middleweight champ, Kalambai. Forrest can afford to take risks. He has a very good chin. The only time he was really in trouble was versus Mayorga. That's probably due to the bad shoulder. It's very tough to beat when he gets into the zone. Very focused and determined.
And he has won the battle of the jabs for the most part in this match. This is a very big ring, well over, looks like 22 to 24 feet. And so far, that's giving Piccirillo at least some room to escape, some escapability, if you will.
Forrest trying to keep clear of Piccirillo's head. As mentioned earlier, Piccirillo prone to head clashes, and we already saw one here at the end of the second round, although when we looked at the replay, it didn't look that bad.
It's funny. Easy for us to say, huh?
Probably right.
Piccirillo cannot get going offensively. Just has not been able to land. There's a right hand throw with conviction by Piccirillo. At least that's the case. And there's the straight 1-2 that I talked about before the fight. He's got to use that weapon a lot more.
Only 3 men have beaten Piccirillo in 51 fights. Vernon Forrest looking to be number 4.
Step back now.
Piccirillo lost to Ricardo Mayorga, the only man to beat Forrest. Also Corey Spinks, and a Danish fighter earlier in his career.
Because he won the title from Spinks and then lost it in a rematch. There's a jab by Piccirillo. You know, Piccirillo's not winning this round, but it is a better round for him. At least he's finding a little bit of a rhythm to throw some punches.
Final seconds of round 3 from Foxwoods Resort Casino in Mashantucket, Connecticut. Forrest missing, and the countering attempts there by Piccirillo.
Keep it clean now.
Respira bene, va bene Michele, va bene così.
Very good Michele.
Oh, va bene così. Vedi quando porta il destro, no? Quando fai quel passo indietro, rientra subito col destro. Non andare senza mettere il destro. Metti il destro, sinistro e via.
Throw the right hand when it.
È facile a prendere con quei colpi lì, Michele.
You will find that. You will get him with right hand. Go with left and go after with the right.
Comincia a girare bene.
Okay, right, you step over with your back leg, okay?
Stop reaching for the head too much. When he hits the ropes, you're reaching. Nah, that's wasted energy. Okay, crack him downstairs.
You don't reach when you stay behind the jab. You understand what I'm saying?
Again, the clash of heads. We'll see another one, a different one. Oh, yeah, there's Piccirillo coming in and punctuates it with a right hand, but the heads came together there, and of course that has been known to happen during Piccirillo's fights. By the way, that was Sambu Kalambai in the corner of Piccirillo.
Very impressive. He was born in Zaire, but has lived in Italy a long time, and obviously speaks fluent Italian. Our thanks to our translator, Christian Kerki. Round 4.
Kalambai thinking that the right hand ultimately will get there from Piccirillo. We'll see. Vernon Forrest is fighting a very intelligent fight. He's not laying in on the inside. He's staying on the outside using his jab and straight right hands for the most part, and occasionally dipping in with the hook.
Forrest, a guy who, after dominating Shane Mosley in 02, people thought he'd He just marched through Mayorga on the way to Oscar De La Hoya, but Mayorga had other ideas, stopping Forrest to the third, a shocker, followed by the close majority decision, which Forrest blamed on overconfidence. He didn't train correctly for it. There's a booming right hand over the top by Forrest that landed. Missed with that one. Digs a left hook into the body.
You know, Vernon Forrest, it reminds me a little bit of Tommy Hearns. He has a very good left hook to the body, but I cringe when he throws it because he leaves himself open just as Tommy Hearns used to, and it's a little less effective than him staying on the outside with the jab and the straight right hand. It's a great punch, though.
There's a good left hook to the body by Forrest. Midway through round 4. Scheduled for 12, the WBC 154-pound title.
Piccirillo languishing on those ropes a lot. Obviously, it's not someplace he should be. When Vernon Forrest has a fighter on the ropes, he really gets after them. We saw in the clip we ran during the Keys when he had Shane Mosley against the ropes how he picked his punches so well. And there was that uppercut again, Forrest trying to get that punch in.
Yeah, when he sees Piccirillo leaning in, that's the time to fire that uppercut. And Piccirillo does that.
Nice little subtle move as Forrest cut off the ring on Piccirillo. Just cut him off and was able to get another punch or two.
As far as pacing himself, he has these surges, but they're usually pretty explosive when they occur. There's a right uppercut on the jaw by Forrest. And Piccirillo showing a solid chin. Oh, there's a body shot by Forrest, a left hook that was borderline.
I think the body work is starting to have a big impact on Piccirillo, so Vernon Forrest done a good job downstairs in this match.
Take the body and then the head, the old boxing axiom as we tick down to the end of round 4.
Time!
You set him up for the uppercuts? Now let's work on the speed now, baby. No need to throw bombs. You got his respect.
Right there.
Okay. Another water. Oh, I got it right here, Jimmy.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Good work, champ. Good work. Stay behind the jab. Stay relaxed, baby. You can fight like this all night. Okay?
Great work by Buddy McGirt in the corner and terrific advice. Now, Vernon Forrest landing that overhand right, didn't even need a jab to set it up, and comes with the left hook as well. Piccirillo backing up against the ropes, not a good posture for him. There he tries the uppercut. They talked about that in the corner, and then he went down to the body. That body work paying dividends for Vernon Forrest.
Pretty good crowd on hand here at the Fox Arena in Foxwoods. Spirited crowd as well, enjoying the action. Vernon Forrest, Michele Piccirillo for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship. Nice jab by Forrest, doubling and tripling up, pushing the challenger back.
You know, Piccirillo owns his own gym in Italy, but made it quite clear that it's just for his training. He has no interest in staying in the gym business after boxing. He would rather be a television commentator. He worked for a couple of shows over in Italian television.
He said he'd love to learn to speak English and take our job.
He's a handsome guy. He might do it.
Well, complete and utter domination along press row for Forrest.
I have every round for Vernon Forrest as well.
Nice defensive maneuver there by Forrest, blocking that attempted right with his left arm. And you got to be careful with that left arm. That's the one that was operated on.
You know, the tenor of what Buddy McGirt said in the corner, so apparent, reminding Vernon not to take extra chances, work behind the jab, don't load up on your punches.
That's it. Come on, fellas.
They want him to just keep doing exactly what he's doing.
Bang it, there you go. Stop holding, let's go.
Third man of the ring, Arthur Mercanti. Nice left body shot by Forrest.
Yeah, that was a little low.
A little low, says Mercanti.
But then Piccirillo had just thrown a couple low punches, so Forrest might have been responding. Now, remember when we were at the fighters meeting, Al Mitchell pointed out that when Piccirillo gets a little bit behind, Mitchell, of course, one of the trainers of Forrest, he will be more aggressive. And I believe in the coming rounds, we'll see Piccirillo press the attack a little bit more.
And he's had some late scoring knockouts.
Yeah, last two fights, he knocked out Michael Jones in his last fight in the 12th round, and before that had an 11th round knockout. So he can get the job done later in the fight.
Yeah, that was Luca Messi.
Yeah.
Was right before Michael Jones of England.
And those are good European junior middleweights. They're not Vernon Forrest, but they're good fighters.
Yeah, he is really stepping up here against the two-division champion.
And he's using the jab, Piccirillo, and the straight right hand. He's now using that weapon a little bit more effectively. Chopping right hand and a jab by Piccirillo. So it's not as if he's necessarily winning this round, but you can feel a subtle shift. At least he's getting himself in the fight a little bit.
Forrest with Piccirillo momentarily pinned. Big right hand with Piccirillo on the ropes. And look out. Ooh, Arthur Mercanti almost.
Louder, you gotta do louder.
Almost took a left hook by Forrest. That was close. And getting ready for the main event, Antonio Tarver, the Magic Man, getting set for Danny Santiago. Working back in his dressing room.
Wants to get his second win in a row here on Showtime, and able to get that last win over Elver Marique in a fight in which I thought he performed pretty well, actually.
Ok,
Two punch.
E alza le mani quando vai indietro, non abbassare.
And keep the hands up. And put more right hand.
See, that's not loud.
So we
either.
begin round 6. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Tarver. Many wondering about his future. Does he still have that edge? What does he have left? Is he at the end of the road, or will we see vintage Antonio Tarver later tonight? A lot of questions surrounding Antonio Tarver.
Now Vernon Forrest in that exchange throwing kind of a wild left hook, which left himself a little vulnerable. Piccirillo couldn't land the counter right hand, but Forrest doesn't want to be anxious and do silly things like throw wild punches, and that's what Buddy McGirt and Al Mitchell will be cautioning him not to do. Nice hook.
That rock, Piccirillo trying to battle back with the left hook off the ropes. Another right over the top by Forrest.
Watch your head.
And these punches really have to be taking their toll on the soon-to-be 38-year-old Piccirillo.
Vernon Forrest has done some tremendous body work in this match, and he's mixed his attack so well to both the body and the head. It's been a really superb performance by Forrest.
Keep him up, Vern.
Another punch in the belt line that gets a warning from Arthur Mercanti Jr. By Forrest.
Keep it clean. Yep. Nice, fellas. Nice work.
We've seen a few roughhouse tactics below the belt, head clashes.
Stop holding now. Let's go. Work out.
No cuts, no bleeding.
Stop holding now.
Left hook blocked by the right hand of Piccirillo. Forrest showing some exquisite defense. And Piccirillo is the one coming in as the ballyhoo defensive fighter.
Well, unlike Piccirillo, who says he has no interest in being involved in the business of boxing, Forrest has his own promotional company. What else is new? There's only 4 boxers that don't, but he wants to bring matches to his area in Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina. He'd like to bring some big matches there.
Nice poking right hand that got through by Forrest upstairs. Great connect percentage for Forrest.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. He's landing a lot of what he throws.
The jab by Piccirillo falling short. That right hand came up empty for Forrest.
And from the lead right hand, which we just saw a moment ago, landing so much. Not always even necessary for the jab from Forrest to precede that right hand.
Well, Forrest said that if Piccirillo comes forward, he's going to knock him out, and Piccirillo at times has been coming forward. Mostly from the outside, though, which is smart. Oh, big right hand, left-right combination that got the attention of Piccirillo. But Piccirillo is down. An overhand right to the top of the head. He claims it was an illegal punch behind his head.
7, 8. I get him.
It's being scored a knockdown, and Piccirillo going down for the 5th time in his career. Once again indicating it was a rabbit punch.
Reminiscent of when Mayorga knocked him down with a punch that landed kind of on the side of the back of the head. And of course, we'll have a chance to examine it in a moment.
Lo secchio per sputare, dov'è? Prendi lo secchio per sputare. Dammi anche il ferro. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, we'll get to judge for ourselves. Here is Forrest landing the right hand. On this, that's one on the side of the head. Now here we're going to see another one. Yeah, that was pretty well in the back of the head. I mean, that definitely landed in the back of the head. Whether it was intentional remains to be seen. I don't think it was, but that punch, no question, landed in the back. But in the heat of the moment, when you're not looking at a replay, pretty tough for a referee to not call that a knockout.
Piccirillo, protesting, but to no avail. So he goes down for the 5th time. You referred to Mayorga. He went down 3 times in 05 against Ricardo Mayorga, lost the decision. And then one time in 06 versus Lucas Konechny in the European title fight, and Piccirillo won that one by decision, unanimous. But this one a questionable knockdown for Vernon Forrest. A knockdown nonetheless. And a 10-8 round. But he is in complete domination of Piccirillo.
He's controlled this fight right from the beginning. And Piccirillo now in a position, as we look at the press row scoring, clearly there will be some desperation for him.
So we're halfway through. A wild left hook attempt there by Forrest, looking to end matters on one punch. Forrest 39-2, won no contest with 28 knockouts. 4-2 with the 1-no contest in world title fights. The former WBC and IBF welterweight champion, making his first defense of the WBC super welterweight title, which he won from Carlos Baldemir.
You know,
a vacant fight.
Sorry, Steve. We talked about the uppercut from Forrest, but Piccirillo's uppercut has landed on the inside. Now here comes Forrest banging away with that punch and the hook.
Pretty good exchange there, but Forrest is getting the upper hand, but back comes Piccirillo. He's game. Good competitive situation here in round 7.
And the difference here is power as well. Piccirillo just not as big a puncher as Forrest. And that left hook hurt Piccirillo.
Big right hand by Forrest. Piccirillo stands right in there. Now he backs up. And the jab by Forrest keeps him at bay.
Nice, fellas, nice.
Right hand blocked by Forrest. Forrest really looking good defensively.
Come on, fellas, work.
Yeah, it's a very good point. You know, we could easily slip past that. While Vernon Forrest has done a good job on offense, defensively, he has slipped a lot of punches, blocked a lot of punches by Piccirillo.
Well, that was really a nice flurry by Forrest moments ago. Final seconds of round 7. Forrest continues to pick Piccirillo apart surgically.
Oh, come on. Don't be dirty now. All right? Don't.
Through round 7, here's a preview of the season finale of Showtime's highly acclaimed series, Brotherhood.
On the next all-new Brotherhood, a dangerous dangerous obsession.
What are you, staking me out?
I'm having a drink.
Don't push me. There are boundaries between you and me.
A fatal betrayal.
I want Michael Caffey dead. You and I have been good partners. Now what's it gonna take?
And a trail of corruption connected by blood.
My brother's got nothing to do with me.
He shot up half of East Providence.
But what happens next could tear the Caffeys apart.
We get set for round 8, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Welterweight title. Piccirillo in the blue. The challenger has been tagged by a number of huge right hands by Forrest, but doesn't seem to be that physically phased. They are making a mark on the scorecards, though.
Yeah, that's
maybe not on his face.
Yeah, Forrest dominating most of these rounds. Vernon Forrest 7-1 in matches in which he has gone 12 rounds, and Piccirillo is 9-3 in 12-round decisions.
Now, we did utter the words earlier that Piccirillo does have some late knockouts, but he's going to have to find some real drama to rally here.
And the tenor of those fights was different. Against Michael Jones, for instance, he was ahead on the scorecard, so he was already doing some valuable work against Jones.
And that was, a hometown situation. He had the crowd behind him. And he was pretty much controlling that affair. Completely different story here tonight.
And you see Piccirillo, as we suggested, now that he's behind, trying to make some things happen, being aggressive, throwing a nice jab there. And let's see if that changes the tenor of this fight at all. And let's see if, in fact, Forrest is able to land something big as Piccirillo comes in toward him.
Once again, Piccirillo was leaning in, so you ate a right uppercut. Midway through the 8th. Nice jab, that shotgun jab by Forrest, but didn't follow it up. Body shot there with the left hook.
You know, for Piccirillo at age now almost 38, obviously this is his last opportunity on the world stage to win a world title, you would have to think. And so for him, he looks at these last 4 rounds or so as his last chance.
And as we said earlier, both are about the same age. Piccirillo's a little older, but he's been in a lot of hard fights. And Forrest did have those 2 years off to have surgery and recuperate, so he's probably got the fresher legs as a result.
And from a marketing standpoint, Piccirillo not as big a star in the division, not as well known as Vernon Forrest. Forrest, of course, the former Olympian like Piccirillo was, but a former champion who has some cachet. That very low punch there by Forrest.
Time. You all right, champ? You all right? You got 5-minute rest, okay? Take your 5, all right? You all right? Walk it off. Suck it up. Here, walk it off. Walk it off. Walk it off. So it's a warning now, okay? Now let's keep it clean, all right? My bad. All right, you all right? Take your time. Take your time. All right, rest. Walk it off. Walk around. When you're ready, you got 5 minutes. You give him a 5-minute rest, right?
You are correct, Mr. Mercati. If a fighter is hit below the belt,
you want to go?
Can't continue.
Go.
Within 5 minutes, he loses.
1 second.
He only took 45 seconds.
Keep it clean, okay? Time in.
And about 30 seconds left in the round. That looked unintentional.
Yeah, both men have thrown a lot of body punches that have been right around the belt line and some a little bit low. They're both trying to work the body, so that will happen.
Final seconds of round 8. But some anxious moments there for Piccirillo. Look out, they continue after the bell.
You hit a bell, you both stop.
Get a little rough in there, Al.
A little on the testy side.
Va bene, Michele, va bene.
Good, Michele. Good, Michele.
Dammi un po' di vasellina. La vasellina.
Forrest has been working the body, and he will dig this left hook, and it is extremely low. Yeah, that one did not land in a very good spot for Piccirillo. And Vernon Forrest, you heard him admit to Arthur McCanty Jr., my bad, and it was, but it turned out bad for Piccirillo. Toward the end of the round, they did not hear the bell, apparently, and they were both firing away, and Arthur McCanty Jr. had to get in harm's way. He's been threatened several times.
Yeah, he almost ate a left hook by, was it Vernon Forrest earlier in the fight, just able to avoid that.
So Vernon Forrest now controlling this fight, and unless something really dramatic happens, he looks like he's headed toward a decision win. And I think you have to look at this fight and say that if you're grading what he did, what he's done in this fight and how he looks, it's pretty darn impressive. He's fighting very, very well.
No question about it. Vernon Forrest winning just about every round.
Keep it clean.
Has a knockdown to his credit, even though it was questionable. Might have been on the back of, in fact, it was on the back of Piccirillo's head. There's your press row scoring. All Forrest, Ron Borges, ESPN.com, Keith Idek, Herald News, The Record, and Jack Obermeyer from Boxing Digest.
I have it even more dramatically, 80-71 for Forrest. So I think he's just pretty much controlled everything in this fight.
Forrest going for his 40th win in his 15-year career. Only has the 2 losses to Mayorga. Long right hand that connected and sent Piccirillo back. Now the left hook blocked.
And speaking of Mayorga, I'm sure people are already thinking to themselves, hey, wouldn't that be an interesting matchup for Vernon Forrest?
Good point. Yeah, he comes off the left hook upstairs by Forrest, and a right uppercut on the chin.
Finally got that uppercut in after that big left hook.
Mayorga comes off the victory over Vargas at 164. The question is, could he come down to this weight?
I think that if nothing else, they could get it to a catch weight, certainly, but I would think
big right hand, and down goes Piccirillo for the second time in the fight. That one
4
was solid.
5
and no question about it.
6 7 8. Walk to me, bro. Come on, you all right?
Going the wrong way. He's in some trouble. Wow, he was walking backwards when he got the instructions, walk to me.
And almost a minute left to go in this round.
He's got a lot of time here to survive. Forrest going for the dramatic end here, winging away, right hand, left hook. McCanty looking very closely at Piccirillo. 35 seconds left in round 9. Piccirillo trying to get through this round. And he is in difficulty. He's disoriented.
Go ahead.
He's fighting back, though. He's got grit. A very brave Piccirillo. So that knockdown as opposed to the first, no doubt about it. And Piccirillo's going to make it through the round. On very wobbly legs.
Yeah.
And a cut.
Dammi la vaselina. L'asciugamano pure.
Give me the towel, give me the towel.
Asciugamano.
Yeah, you need something to work on that cut.
Vernon Forrest getting Piccirillo in some trouble with what was a tremendous left hook, and then lands the uppercut. Those 2 punches alone should have done something to him, but it took this overhand right by Forrest. Lead right to put Piccirillo down. So those are 3 solid punches landed by Vernon Forrest. The lazy jab of Piccirillo languished out there, and Forrest was able to come over the top. You know what you have to like about this performance, Steve? Even though Piccirillo, a good, decent fighter, maybe not in the top 4 or 5 in the weight division, but it's the way Vernon Forrest is beating him that's so impressive.
A very convincing performance here by Vernon Forrest, and Piccirillo in all kinds of trouble. Another 10-8 round in that 9th round for Vernon Forrest, and then some blood appearing from near the left eye of Michele Piccirillo.
And I should say Piccirillo is ranked second by the WBC, but I don't know that he's universally acclaimed as one of the top 3 or 4 in the division overall by everybody. It is possible that the rankings sometimes are not correct. Just barely.
Just.
Break.
A lot of action towards the end of that last round, so Vernon looking for the second win here.
You know, Vernon Forrest came back and off the layoff fought Corte. It was a very close match. You could tell Forrest was still figuring out how well he could do, trying to get himself back after the surgery. Better against Baldomir and even better tonight against Piccirillo. So it's been a work in progress, but you can see steady improvement from him.
Able to put Piccirillo down twice. Baldomir, of course, with a concrete chin. Very tough to get him down. And Piccirillo with a solid chin as well, but down twice, although the first one really came from an illegal punch. But the second one, ain't no doubt about it. Beautiful right hand. I mean, it was a ferocious right hand.
Come on, let's go, boys.
By Forrest. Arthur McCanny urging these two on as they sort of take the round off.
It really is pretty astonishing. Piccirillo is still hanging in there, especially after the last one. He took some monstrous punches. And you know, this might sound a little maudlin, but this is when I respect boxers and boxing. Here's Piccirillo, a 37-year-old fighter, getting dominated in a fight. But you know what? He hangs in there, he competes, and he wants to show that he can hang in against this fighter, even if this might be his last major fight.
Nice left hook to the jaw by Forrest, getting that second win towards the end of the round.
Break. Keep it up, Vernon. Up. Okay.
Well, it's been a very rough fight for Piccirillo. There have been head clashes. Of course, that might have been his fault, but the low blow, 2 knockdowns, bleeding, and just getting outboxed, outslugged, outworked.
Time. All right, come on.
Behind that stiff jab. We're going to keep him off rhythm this round. These next 2 rounds will keep him off rhythm. Don't look to gun him out. Okay. Just do your thing. Everything we worked on in the gym, this is what we put it together. Stay relaxed. Boom, nice feints. Wow, nice counters. Okay. All right, don't jump back so much. Stand your ground and fire something. Go ahead, Al.
Plenty of talent at 154, which is being showcased tonight with Vernon Forrest.
Well, we've seen Alcine and Corey Spinks. We saw Alcine win his title against Travis Sims. And Sergey Zinzarek, he's kind of the mystery man in this division. Very good fighter. Some believe he's the best at 154. Forrest would, of course, take issue with that.
And while you think title unification, the fights Forrest really wants, as we've mentioned, are with Ricardo Mayorga and, of course, Mayweather.
All right, stay focused. Stay focused.
Or the winner of the Mayweather-Hatton fight, I guess you could say.
That's where the real big money matches are.
And we mentioned Mayorga. That is a fascinating fight because of, number one, Mayorga is such a colorful character, and number two, he's kind of given himself a little bit of validity with some recent wins. And there's an issue to be settled there.
But of course, he did beat a guy you know, who was headed towards retirement even before the fight. Vargas.
You notice I said some validity.
Yes.
Hence my statement.
So we agree.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's round 11. Oh, and just Piccirillo is just getting batted around.
Well, you know, those were 2 good left hooks by Piccirillo. Best punches he's landed, but it doesn't even move Forrest.
No, and big right hands by Forrest, dominating the action, controlling it, just setting him up with the left jab.
You know, we saw Luis Maldonado, and now we're seeing Piccirillo, both underdogs who haven't quite been able to get the job done, but their bravery and courage in the ring, really extraordinary. And like Maldonado, he's still fighting, punching back, trying to win this fight, and occasionally landing some nice punches, just not enough.
Looking to go out on his shield. Michele Piccirillo. Again, complaining for a rabbit punch.
Keep it clean. Let go.
Oh, beautiful left hand by Forrest. He faked the right and then shot out the left, and Piccirillo did not expect it.
That's another one of the, Buddy McGirt mentioned that all the feints that Forrest is using, very effective. And that's been one of the subtleties in this fight that has worked in the favor of Forrest. The other one is how well he's cut off the ring when Piccirillo tries to give him movement.
A sleight of hand move there by Forrest, and then he finished it off with blazing speed.
I'm going to tell you, this is as good as Vernon Forrest can look.
Oh, heavy right hand over the top by Forrest, just as you said that, to punctuate the remark. And a right hand, and down goes Piccirillo again. And Arthur McCanny stops the fight.
That's it.
He's seen enough.
Stay there, baby.
Third knockdown of the fight for Forrest, and Piccirillo still argues he wanted to continue.
I think Piccirillo hurt his ankle as well. That's part of the problem.
He did, yes.
Hey, you tell him there's always another day.
He's trying to let them know that he hurt his ankle, too. A language issue there.
Yeah, he went down and twisted his ankle. But he is so brave and so courageous, but just a dominating night for Vernon Forrest, just picking Piccirillo apart.
Yeah, noi sì. Cristian, la caviglia, digli che la caviglia. Dimmi qualche cosa.
I didn't see that good pickup, Al. At first, I thought that he was like waving to McCanny. I can still go, but completely the opposite.
Well, it was an awkward, way he fell, and it's a shame on top of everything else for him to have to suffer an injury like that.
They're trying to get the shoe off as fast as they can. It looks like, as Al pointed out, the ankle.
He was hit and went back so awkwardly. And for this man, Vernon Forrest, just smiles.
One second. Oh, yeah, it's good. Everything's good. Yeah, no problem.
Beautiful boxing, man.
Forrest retaining his title, his first successful defense. Goes to 40-2 with 29 knockouts.
His technique was so good in this fight. The jab, the straight right hand, through the uppercuts as they work on the foot of Piccirillo.
Splint it in here. Splint it here.
Just give it a splint.
And the replay will show us how awkwardly he went down and the nature of the injury. Big right hand pushes him back, and then there'll be another right hand. And you see his leg get caught underneath him. And from the overhead camera, we'll see a better view of what, is a gruesome looking situation with his, all his weight went right onto his ankle. And there'll certainly be an injury to that ankle. At the very least a sprain, and maybe more. But
immediately applying the cold pack or the ice if there's swelling, and you can see the grimacing and the pain expression on the face of Piccirillo.
That's just adding insult to injury, because you get knocked out and lose a fight, and then the bad circumstances create that injury. But this man, if this is the end of his major fights in his career, he showed grit, determination, skill in spots, but just didn't have enough firepower to deal with Vernon Forrest.
We're told by the officials here it actually could be broken. All right, let's get the official time from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 21 seconds in round number 11. Our referee in charge, Arthur Mercanti, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, and still the WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Vernon the Viper Forrest.
So congratulations on a dominating victory by Vernon Forrest, one-sided, and they're going to take no chances, Al, with Michele Piccirillo, and they've got the gurney standing by to wheel him out because he just cannot put any weight on that foot. And right now our Jim Gray is up in the ring standing by with the champion. Jim.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. As you reported, his ankle could be broken according to the ringside physician who I just spoke to, and they will wheel him out on the gurney. They have put his leg into a splint. Vernon, congratulations to you on this fight. You were very impressive tonight. Were you pretty pleased with the way you fought?
First of all, I had to thank God for giving me this victory. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Iron Head Boxing, Post Therapy, and at Vero Beach, and also who the other one? Iron Head, and who else?
Let's get to the questions. We'll get to the commercial a little bit later. Come on, Vernon.
Yeah.
How about your performance?
It was. I give myself grade B+. You know, I got hit a little bit more than I expected, but you know, I got the win, so I'm happy with that.
3 knockdowns, and you seem to have all of your stamina. And maybe some people thought that maybe your conditioning wasn't going to be up to speed before the fight, but I guess you proved that wrong. Here's the first knockdown. He thought you held him in the back of the head. Tell us about the second.
He went for a fake. It was like an old sucker move, you know, old school move. I fake right, I fake left, and then went right.
And that's the end right there where he caught his ankle, and that was the end of the fight. So Vernon, now you look so impressive tonight that it's almost where you can take this thing to yourself. Is it Mayorga who you'd like to go after?
Absolutely. I want Mayorga again. You know, he got one legitimate win, and they gave him a win, and so we got to definitely do it again. But also, I like to look at the win of Mayweather and Hatton, De La Hoya if he want to get this belt back. You know, Cotto if he want to come up. So there's a lot of good fights out there. But Mayorga, he definitely have it.
What do you think would be different this time than the other 2 times?
You seen it. You seen. I'm healthy. You know, I have all my skills, all my movement, all my weapons, all my arsenal. So this time it'll be a completely different fight.
Was your right hand at all injured or bothered tonight? Because it looked for a couple of rounds as though you didn't want to throw it or were hesitant.
No, he has he pulls back. He have a slight movement when he pulls back, and a couple times I threw it, and I damn near fell out the ring. So I had to kind of put it in my pocket for a little while and let him forget about it. And then I brought it back, you know, after a few rounds where he forgot about it.
How come you're not sweating?
Hey man, it was good work. It was a good fight, good work. You know, I was sweating. I know how to be cool. I'm a cool dude.
Let him see you sweat. Congratulations, Vernon.
Thank you.
Terrific performance. All right, Steve, back to you now.